Just a week and a half before the regular season starts, the Las Vegas Raiders needed a backup quarterback after Aiden O'Connell came up injured. With the way he played this preseason, I have to wonder if the Raiders felt like they needed a backup even when he was healthy. Either way, thank goodness they have one, and he's a pretty good one. They sent a 5th-round pick to the Cleveland Browns for Kenny Pickett. I know he's considered a bust after the Pittsburgh Steelers traded him to the Philadelphia Eagles after he fell short of first-round pick expectations. However, he was the backup quarterback on a Super Bowl winning team. Oh, you never know, he could sit behind Smith a couple of years and have his career take off later on. Who better to show him how to do that than Smith himself? One thing about Pickett is he wasn't that big of a bust. He wasn't that big Jamarcus Russell type of bust. He was 13-10 as a starter and threw 13 touchdowns to 13 interceptions in his first 2 years with the Steelers. Those numbers show you he was inconsistent, but what rookie isn't? He also had a problem being available. I seem to remember his offensive line not being very good though. He only started in 24 of a possible 34 games with the Steelers. I wonder if that's why the Steelers didn't let him get to year 3. He spent his year 3 with the Eagles and looked pretty good in his one start against the Dallas Cowboys, going 10 of 15 for 143 yards and a touchdown in one half of the 41-7 blowout win. After the season, he went to the Cleveland Browns to compete for the starting quarterback position, and he almost got it. He got off to a good start in training camp and was the frontrunner to win the job until he pulled a hamstring. He was out for a long time, and as they say, you can't win the job from the training room, so shortly after Joe Flacco was announced the starter, the Browns traded Pickett to the Raiders. So what do they think of him? Carroll had jokes about him having a chip on his shoulder.
Well, anybody's been traded as much as he has. That chip, that he carries that chip. I think he's got a traveling bag with it. He made a really good first impression out here. Really comfortable. Has picked stuff up amazingly fast for all of the systems he's been through. You think his brain could be all jumbled up, but really good learner. Good athletically out here, threw the ball really well. He's not even full speed yet. We haven't really let him take off and go because we want to save him through these next 4 days and get into game week. But really big first impression, and he seems to fit in well.
Here's what GM John Spikehead said about what went into making Pickett the choice to be the Raiders' backup quarterback.
Well, obviously quarterbacks are an important commodity, and Kenny's somebody that we've had a lot of respect for a long time. I was in Tampa in 2022 when he was a rookie and beat Tom Brady. He fit the profile of what we're looking for. He does a lot of similar things that Geno does with his athleticism and ability to move the pocket and all that. And, you look around the league and you think, who could be available? Who could we get? And a team with 4 quarterbacks certainly looks like a spot where you could get it. And so we felt like organizationally it made a lot of sense. We still are excited about working through Aiden's injury and getting him back at some point. But, we had to have some answers, and it would be a lot to ask a rookie from North Dakota State to be the number 2 guy going into New England in week 1. So felt like it was a great move for us.
He was going to double down on it, cite his matching skill set to Smith's.
I have a lot of respect for the player. He's 15-10 as a starter. He's had opportunities to play. He won a Super Bowl last year, so he knows what it looks like. I think I said before, he's a good athlete. He's not too dissimilar from Geno in a lot of ways in the way he can move and the offense that we want to run. I think sometimes you can get 2 different types of quarterbacks, and it becomes a big challenge for offense coordinator for Chip to kind of match those 2 up and have the backup quarterback ready to go should something happen, in the middle of a game. But with Kenny and the way he kind of mirrors Geno in a lot of ways, that just makes it a little bit easier in what is already a very hard job. And again, he's won in this league. He's somebody we have a lot of respect for. We had great character reports with him coming out of Pitt a bunch of years ago, and we just felt like he was a good ad for our culture and for our team.
Pickett was asked about his reaction to the trade.
Yeah, there's not much time to think. You get the news at night. I was up at 4 a.m. on a flight. As soon as I landed, physical, into meetings, into practice. There's not much time to think, so it's just go. Which kind of is better, you don't have time to sit there and think about what's going on. You're just reacting and being a football player. So, I'm enjoying it. I think it's a great place to be. The energy, the culture here, I could already tell from day one when I walked in here. It's in a great place. So, looking forward to adding to that.
Sounds like the offense is familiar to him.
I think, just looking at it early, he's good friends with Mark Whipple, who was my OC at the University of Pittsburgh. So there's a lot of similarities there. I'm going to call Coach Whip this weekend and talk to him some more about it. But a lot of the things that I did in college is similar to what he's doing. So I'm kind of taking the teaching I have from Coach Whip and utilizing it here without much coaching that I've been able to get yet. So just going off of instincts in that.
He's already well acquainted with Smith too.
Yeah, Geno's awesome. We got to work together every day in the off season, so it's actually crazy how this game works. He was like kind of my training partner. We were pushing each other every day in the weight room, on the field. We were throwing like 3 times a week, so it's really funny now that we're teammates and we're kind of picking up right where we left off. So he's an awesome guy to learn from. Here for him, whatever he needs. He's answering my questions. Obviously, I have a lot of them. I'm trying not to bother him too much, but it's a great relationship for sure.
Then he talked about his comfort with Smith.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. I just know that first things first, the type of person he is. He's just a great human being. It's a great place to start. All the football stuff will come from me and what I'm learning in the system and everything. But knowing I have a guy like that in the room, all the quarterbacks have been great so far. I trained with Cam actually in the summer, so it's a small world, the football scene. So it's great to have those guys in the room.
It sounds like he's embracing the journey, which is a good thing.
Yeah, it's awesome. Everyone's journey is different. I don't think it's not a cookie cutter system. The NFL, it's a crazy business. You have to be able to adapt or you'll be done, So, being fluid, being able to pick up things on the fly, learn playbooks, learn systems, be able to go out there and play fast. So I think the experience I've had in the past is helping me with that, move along quickly. But like I said, just taking a day at a time, being where my feet are and being all in on the process and where I'm at.
Man, Pickett's story is so similar to Smith's to this point, it's not even funny. It doesn't work out with his first team, he gets shipped out, he gets the bust label, he plays for 2 more teams, and now it's time to sit on Carroll's bench for a minute and possibly see what you could do after. The best thing about that is he gets to learn from Smith, the man himself. First things first though, he makes a good backup to Smith. He has a good relationship with him and he has a similar skill set. The offense doesn't have to change too much if he has to go in for him. The offense has to change drastically with O'Connell. I think he's going to take O'Connell's job permanently. Thank you for watching. See you next time.